International Law. He's a Supreme Court advocate and he was a director and Secretary General of Indian Society of International Law former. And he also worked in Seychelles as a member of Attorney General's teams. And then he has come here to participate in this program all the way from Chennai and is going to be with us in all these 2 days. Thank you so much, Jayara sir, for coming here. And we have another important member, that is Professor YSR Murthy. He was Vice President earlier and now is a Vice Chancellor of RV University. And in spite of his busy schedule, he is here in the last 2 days with us and is exploring the Vijayawada and the law school and here in our VIT University. And thank you so much, Murthy sir, for coming here. And also we have our friends and well-wishers like Dr. Sudhakar Reddy sir, who was the Joint Secretary retired and is associated with us right now. And he's also practitioner for the last 28, 30 years. And also he has come here and he also joined with us and he's teaching. And that's a wonderful thing for us. I warmly welcome you, sir. And also I have my friend, Dr. Banu Krishna Kiran, who is again, you can, Telugu students can see in our newspaper. He regularly writes on international and national security issues. He is also in our midst. Thank you so much. And we have our faculty members from VIT School of Law, Chennai, Dr. Anand Krishnaraj, and I warmly welcome. And thank you so much for taking your time and coming here. And also Dr. Pandya-Raj, and he's also international representative and he's practiced in ALCO almost for 12 years and now he has come to academics. So why I am taking a little time and giving all these things, because we should appreciate their efforts because they are all practitioners of international law. And some people may say that international may not be the law, but today if you're looking at these people, what they are doing, and it is an important a testimony for us to see the practitioners of international law and they are invisible in public life. They are coming and they are sparing valuable time. And I warmly welcome to all of you and thank you very much, sir. And at the same time, I take 2 minutes. I warmly welcome our esteemed Vice Chancellor, sir, who is always there. When I accepted this proposal with ISIL, and I came and I told very boldly, because I have confidence, sir has given that confidence. Go ahead, whatever you want to do it for the visibility of law school, success of law school. After accepting the proposal of ISIL, and a general body meeting and executive council meeting, I put the proposal with my vice chancellor, sir, with without any asking any questions. He said that go ahead, whatever you want, we are there with you. That spirit, motivation, and that encouragement is uncountable, and I always cherish that. Always patting on my back and asking me to go ahead with whatever the ventures which we are doing, and for giving this best of opportunity to bring all this people here. Sir, thank you very much for all your support, and I warmly welcome you. And next, Registrar Sir, and he is the one man who always there and says that please take it to whatever you can do it, and we are there, and without any reservations. Without any asking questions, he is there. I can even just to open the door and walk into whichever the busy meeting is there. And when I ask something, he's always there. And he has given the best of the opportunities and created these facilities and facilitating this learning environment of international life here. And I'm always grateful to the commitment of our registrar sir, Jagdish Chandra. And thank you so much, sir. And I warmly welcome you. And we have another 2 important dignitaries of our university, that is a Dean Research, Academic Research, Dr. Ravindra Duli sir, and thank you so much for coming here, sir. You are most warmly welcome to our conference, and also our controller of examination, and is here in our midst. In spite of their schedules, they are coming here to meeting and seeing what we are doing here and to give their encouragement. It is a kind of, again, testimony. And along with that, my dear students, please take this as an opportunity for these 2 days. It's a learning environment. And all this who is who of internationalized in the midst of us 2 days. And if I say so in my HL language, I have taken them as a hostage in a VIT for 2 days. So I'm very grateful to all of you, and please take the opportunity, meet with them, They are the finest humans and finest people in spite of their big positions. And you know now that is going to make this opportunity and use them. And I thank all my faculty colleagues, those who are standing with me and taking this kind of events and carry forwarding and creating a niche of issues and also creating an environment for the learning to our students. I'm thankful for all that support. I warmly welcome and each one of our faculty members for this conference. I'm sure the student deliberations will evoke a definitely very good response and interest in developing the learning culture in the VIT School of Law. With this, I thank you once again for all and I warmly welcome to this conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Now I request VC sir, Dr. S.V. Kota Reddy sir, to give this presidential address.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, sir.
Respected Chief Guest, Shri Praveen H. Parekh, President, ISIN, Senior Advocate, Supreme Court of India, Shri Dr. Narinder Singh, Secretary General, ISIL, Additional Secretary, Retired Legal and Derivatives Division, MEA, Government of India, former member of the International Law Commission, IELC, Registrar Dr. Jagdish Chandra Mudiganti, Dean Dr. Banerjee Chakra, distinguished guests traveled across the country, faculty members, and their students. I'm very delighted to welcome you all to this National Conference on International Law in times of crisis. I would like to congratulate the School of Law to organize this national conference. A big round of applause to the School of Law. And today is a very auspicious day. Two major things are there. One is the International Women's Day. The entire world is celebrating International Women's Day. And the Mahashivratri, the entire world is celebrating. Wherever Indians are there, they are celebrating Mahashivratri. So on this great day, this national conference is being organized. And it's wonderful to see this. And I'm very delighted to see so many eminent people coming to this conference. I would like to congratulate Dr. Banerjee and his team to invite such eminent people to our VIT University. It's a great thing. The school is doing several events like this. Just last month, they organized an international conference in collaboration with Birmingham University. That was the international conference, and immediately, now not even 1 month, and in 3 weeks' time again, the school is organizing this event and inviting such eminent people across the country. It's really great. But why we are doing all these things? Why? What is the objective behind this? Our students, particularly the School of Law students, should get the maximum extent what is happening in the field, like in the law field, what is happening. And the practitioners are here. They are going to enlighten all of you what is happening in the real court. Then you should know that is what actually we say, the bridging the gap between industry and academia. The industry means it is the court and then the practitioners, lawyers, and then judges, and what they are doing in the real life, what they are doing in the job, that should be disseminated to the students. that is the main objective of doing these conferences. Then all of you, all students should make use of this great opportunity. You will not be able to listen to such eminent people, I mean, in normal colleges. It's very difficult to bring all such people. But here in VIT University, we are able to do that. And as students and faculty also should make use of this kind of great opportunity. And the other thing is, I'm happy to see so many girl students in this room. Because then I think almost 40% of girl students are sitting here. 40% yes or no? More than that. What is the percentage?
It's 52%.
52%. A big round of applause to all the girls here. On Women's Day, we are seeing more girls sitting in the, I mean, in sitting here in the hall. Not only here, I mean, in School of Law, 52% of girl students are there. It is really great thing to know. And overall university, if you take overall university, we have 40,000 students. Out of 40,000 students, around 1,600 students are girls. It is around 33%. Now there actually we need to increase. As of today, we have only 33% of students across the university. But as Honorable Prime Minister is nowadays saying, Vikasit Bharat 2047. That means the developed India, to make India a developed country, the percentage has to go up. That means in the every sector, there should be more than 50% of women. Then only the India will become Vikasit Bharat. That is one of the parameters I am considering. That means if any field you take, the women participation should be more than 50%. Then it is possible by 2047, it is possible. Then at NIT University, we are also trying our best to increase the girl students ratio. And our honorable chancellors are always talking about this, how to increase the GER and also how to increase the girl strength in all the education institutions. He always talks about that. And then coming to the research scholars. But then how many of you are research scholars here? Research scholars also, there is a good percentage of the girl students, the female. We have around 46% of female research scholars. That is again good news. That's a great proportion. Like 46% is a very good number. Then there also we need to get on to 50%. Then coming to the faculty and staff members, we have around 39% the female. Then that number also has to grow. Then we are putting our efforts to increase the number of female faculty and staff members also. And coming to the publications, then our girl students are doing good. But I mean, I don't have the exact percentage how many papers the girl students are publishing along with the faculty members, the female faculty members. But that number has to go up. And then according to me, it's around again 32%, but then that has to increase. And innovation and incubation side also, around 33% of female students are female students and faculty members and research scholars are publishing patents. We published 494 patents since our inception. Out of that, around 32% of patents belongs to the women inventors. Again, a good sign there, but then again we have to increase there also the number. And then in publications and then patents, all these things, our female students are doing good. And anyway, on the International Women's Day occasion is there, therefore I am talking about all these statistics to all of you. But coming to the law school is doing a wonderful job. And any event like the Women's Day or the IPR Day or Refugee Day or what do you call that, the Constitutional Day, every day, I mean, whenever it is there, okay, the School of Law is coming forward and organizing the events. A big round of applause for the School of Law for that wonderful. But then I don't want to take more time because now we have another guest is coming. I mean, actually, the DIG is coming to address students because we are organizing another event on International Women's Day. I suggest all the students, I advise all the students and faculty members to take advantage of these great opportunities and interact with the eminent people and enhance our knowledge. And I wish you all the very best. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. I now request Registrar of VIT AP University, Dr. Jagdish Chandra Modiganti, to kindly give address.
Dignitaries of the dais, faculty colleagues and dear students, a very good morning to all of you. We are to another event. We have come to another event conducted by the School of Law. As spoken by Vice Chancellor sir, the School of Law is very young. It started in 2020. As a university, in 2017, when the then government invited Vellore Institute of Technology to come and establish a campus over here. It had invited, that then government had invited many of the reputed universities. Basically, they are all mainly in engineering and sciences. 2017, we started with approximately 600 students. They gave initial 100 acres of land and another 100 acres was to be given after we reached the 10,000 students. But over a period of time, now within this 7 years, approximately, we have now reached 14,000 students, a very rapid growth. So we have been ranked by the Outlook also as the #1 emerging private university 2 consecutive years on 2022 and 2023. So if you see the statistics, we are very rapidly growing, and the School of Law, which is the youngest in the university, started in 2020 with 2 programs, PALLB and DBLLB. And although the numbers are going steady, increasing, gradually growing, the school is very, very active among the 7 schools that we have in engineering, sciences, humanities. So this is a very positive sign that the school is very active. Also, they previously conducted, I think, many of the competitions, international moot court competitions in collaboration with the Competition Commission of India. They have been collaborating with eminent institutions and then colleges and have been bringing about very good learning environment over here. The aim also was that our Honorable Chancellor, Dr. G. Vishwanathan, he himself is a law graduate, and then he said that we have to, as a university, we need to have not just the sciences and engineering, but all the other disciplines also need to be developing, and we need to produce a holistic graduates in all the domains. With that mandate, we started, and I think that is getting fulfilled with the way the school is progressing and the students are being groomed over here. Coming to this today national conference, this very particular topic, you have good specialists over in the university itself, specializing our team specializes in space law, and then there are a good number of faculty who specialize in international law. It's very pertinent also. Just think about the amount of disputes that are coming up in the world, and many of them also could be because of the depleting resources. It's going to be very futuristic. So there will be more and more disputes, a lot of arbitration, resolution need to be done, because naturally the natural resources are depleting. And then there is globalization that has happened, that also brings in collaboration, then also brings in problems as well. So there need to be a very strong sense of this domain developing in we should have a domain developing in the campus where the students can specialize, and the eminent personalities who are present over here, they will definitely enlighten you on this domain, and the parts that they will hand over to you, you are the people who have to take this up, and where the country would require many such professionals in the future date, then you should be the people who should carry the torch of justice. So this conference has very great significance and we are very much happy and thank uh, ISIL and also Ramaya College for collaborating with BIT AP, joining hands and then disseminating knowledge and then motivating, inspiring is what all the academicians and then the professionals should be doing. And then I hope that these 2 days our students will really get inspired and then take this course of international law in this specialization, this domain, and then try to become professionals in this particular field. And we also like to thank Praveen Parekh ji and also Dr. Narendra Singh ji for joining us over here despite their busy schedules. Thank you very much, sir. I hope the campus offers you a very comfortable stay. And then the students would definitely love to hear from both of you. And also all the other dignitaries who have come over here. Please feel comfortable over here and then try to enlighten and interact with our faculty and students. They're all very young, even the faculty, because the school itself is very young. Definitely they will draw a very great motivation from all your talks. So wishing you all the very best for the next 2 days. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Now I request Vice Chancellor sir and Registrar sir to kindly felicitate the guests. Thank you very much, sirs. Now I request Dr. Sudhir Verma, Assistant Professor of Law, BSL, to give a brief about the program.
Good morning, everyone. Respected Vice Chancellor Sir, Registrar Sir, EC members of ISIL, my dear students, professors of international law, my senior colleagues in international law, my colleagues in international law, and other subjects of law at BIT University. We welcome you all to this national conference titled International Law in the Times of Crisis, jointly organized by ISIL and BIT School of Law, co-sponsored by Ramaya School of Law. I would like to give the brief about the conference and the intent behind organizing this particular conference. The main intent behind organizing this particular conference is regarding the disseminating of knowledge, visibility, interest, and purpose in international law. We have a dedicated specialization honors course in international law. We would like to motivate our students to pick up international law by hearing eminent speakers and presenters in international law and other domains and areas of international law. The conference is divided into four major themes. We have four major sessions with respect to the same, all of them dealing with contemporary issues in international law. The first theme is climate change and international law. The second is international humanitarian law and the changing notions of warfare. Third one is emerging technologies and international law. And the fourth theme is enforcement and adjudication in international law, reforms and contemporary development in that particular domain. The conference is timely with the kind of global crisis that is happening across the world, not just the wars we are talking about. There is a structural problem across the entire international community, may it be climate change, may it be institutions, may it be enforcement mechanisms and international law, which have always been we had the onslaught by the positivist lawyers across the world. But still, international law continues to rise. International law continues its discussions and debates within the eminent professors of international law and now in the young students of international law. This gap has to be bridged, and these conferences are such events where this knowledge dissemination takes place. The students are expected to take the discussion seriously, even beyond the national conference that is 8th and 9th. The days are auspicious, as already Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir of PITAP has already discussed. It is an important day. Today is the 46th International Women's Day being celebrated across the world along with Mahashivratri. A very auspicious day, and in fact, some kind of thinking that can be developed is why just 46th International Women's Day? Why not much before? So the movement started since 1909 and took place in 1917, etc. But yet, what it took the world 60, 70 years to recognize this as an important day for gender equality. With the sentiments, I will not take much time because we want to hear you, sirs. So I'll just close my remarks by keeping in mind the notions of gender equality and by respecting the sentiments of secularism across the world. And with that sentiment, let's carry on with the discussions of international law in the times of crisis. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. Now I request Rashmita to give the brief about Praveen H. Parekh, sir. Good morning, everyone. It's my honor to introduce Padma Shri Praveen H. Parekh, President of Indian Society of International Law. Padma Shri Praveen H. Parekh is a senior advocate practicing in the Supreme Court of India. He was president of the Supreme Court Bar Association for 6 terms between 2004 and 2014. He was also the president of the Supreme Court Advocates on Record Association for 10 years till 2004. Praveen H. Parekh did his BA Honours in Economics and Statistics from Elphinstone College, Bombay. He pursued an LLB degree from Government Law College, Bombay, and was awarded with Sir Charles Surgeon Memorial Scholarship by Bombay University. He was also an alumni of Harvard University, USA. Sir started his legal practice at Bombay High Court and for more than 55 years has been practicing as a senior advocate at the Supreme Court of India. He was appointed as an arbitrator by ICC Paris and other international and national organizations. Currently, Praveen H. Parekh holds a presidential post at the Indian Society of International Law and Confederation of Indian Bar. He is associated with a large number of international organizations across the globe, including the International Law Association and the International Bar Association, the American Bar Association, as well as several other Indian organizations. Sir is active in fighting for the rights of women, children, and disadvantaged and vulnerable sections of the society. He was the chairman of the Consumer Education and Research Center at Ahmedabad for 3 decades. Through his well-established career, he holds wide recognition for representing the Honorable President, Vice President of India in election petitions. His clientele includes Government of USA, Cabinet Ministers, chief ministers, reputed PSUs, banks, and large industrial houses in India. Sir represented Reliance Industries Limited, Hindustan Unilever Limited, Oil and Natural Gas Corporation, BPCL, Taj Group of Hotels, Tata Memorial Hospital, Air India, National Institute of Fashion Technology, National Institute of Design, to name a few, and the list goes on. I want to convey my deepest appreciation for your gracing your presence for the national conference. Now I request Padma Shri Praveen H. Parekh sir to address the gathering.
I'm very happy that we are on the Women's Day. Let me tell you, in the Supreme Court Bar Association, there are certain areas which is only meant for lady lawyers of the Supreme Court. Men cannot go there at all. But for last more than 40 years, that law does not apply to me. All the ladies welcome me. Please come to us whenever one of the lady has some function to do, something to eat. Only one man is allowed, and that is me. Many of my friends are very, not very happy, but what they can't help it. My dear friends, we have heard all the learned friends, and I'm very happy. But it is very important for the students now. I'd like you to tell that you are much better than what during my time it was. In fact, in good old days, in my time, when you did not get any other place, they'll go to law. They did not go into medical, etc. They'll go to. But now, if going as a number, main choice is to go to law. And that is very good because a lot of things are happening. Our judiciary is doing a lot of things. People have a lot of confidence in the judiciary. And that's how the work is going on. So you are, as the students, you should work and please keep on noting down what are the case law. To the students, you must always, of course, know the Indian Supreme Court judgments, you must know and you must learn. But also you should know something of the UK because we have picked up from the good old days from UK. So you must get and know some judgments of UK. And also it is good if you can know, of course it's very difficult to understand the USA judgments, etc. But you should pick up some of the USA judgments. Because you are much better than good old lawyers. And therefore you have got that power to do a lot of things which you were not able to do or not capable of doing it. So please do this and also keep on noting down. Everyone forgets. So you think that, yeah, of course I know. But note down. People now you're very easy for you to note down for your what to do. Earlier it had to be done here, but now you can put in your whatever way you can. So you please do it. And also keep on discussing. Because discussion with each other, you can discuss with the students, any students in your work, your friends, etc. Discuss with me, and that will be good. In fact, I have written my speech, which I'll hand over. Okay, it is a 4-page speech. I did not like to write that, but I have also written about the climate change. Climate change has emerged as a substantial threat in recent times, especially after the global pandemic. The need for a healthy environment has strengthened the voice of environmental activities around the globe, who have been raising their concern and the possible effect of climate change on the whole world. But only after the outbreak of COVID-19 made the world realize the magnitude problems that climate change can lead to even possible extinction of human race. It is important to recognize the issue at hand and work on it because the world that we have inherited needs to be preserved and protected so that the next generation can enjoy a healthy environment and it does not become a luxury in future times. As clean environment is something which is basic, and the Honorable Supreme Court, through its a plethora of judgments has made right to clean environment as a part of Article 21. Our constitution has a lot of articles given. When the articles were made by our constitution makers, they never meant what it means. But by from a long time, large number of lawyers and judges have interpreted Article 14 did not mean what it was now is. Article 14 gives a lot of powers which is given to the citizens. Like Article 19 has been given. Now all those rights have been written by our constitution, but it is given much more than what is written in the constitution by the Supreme Court interpreting those articles. And therefore, you as the students, please understand, read and discuss. And it is very important for you to discuss with each other. You know, you can, of course, you can do some little bit of nonsense talk also you can do, but there should be not more than 5 minutes in a one day, all right, 10 minutes per day, but otherwise discuss with each other. You can learn a lot from discussing each other. The students get one right. I think, but what do you think? And then you will come to know that what you thought was not correct or was not completely correct, and therefore I find that the other student tells me is correct, is better, is good. It is very good. And once you do it, that will help you in your life, not in your only passing your college, but it will help you throughout. So whatever you learn, and you people are very used to note down whatever is there will be there with you for all time. So please keep on using. It is, of course, it's not a very good thing to give to people or the students that you must do. But since I get an opportunity to tell you, you have to work and work. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Now I request Bhavya to give an introduction about our guest, Dr. Narendra Singh.
Good morning, everyone. It's my pleasure to introduce Sri Narendra Singh, the Secretary General of the Indian Society of International Law. Sir has an illustrious career in international law and has, over the last 4 decades, shaped India's interaction with international law. He has acquired his LLB in 1974 and his LLM in 1976 from the Faculty of Law, Delhi University. He was the legal advisor for the Permanent Mission of India to the United Nations, New York from 1998 to 2002. As the legal advisor to the Ministry of External Affairs and head of its Legal and Treaties Division from 2002 to 2012, he has represented India in several United Nations engagements, negotiations, and numerous treaties, and also notable arbitration proceedings. In the meantime, he was also the chairman to the International Law Commission of the United Nations from 2007 to 2016. He started his legal career as an academician at the ISIL. In the very same organization, he became Secretary General 3 decades later. He was instrumental in securing the electronic distribution and archiving of the flagship journal, that is the Indian Journal of International Law, ensuring a wider audience, especially among the young lawyers. Sir was granted the 2017 MC Basiramani Justice Award, dedicated to an outstanding South Asian who has contributed to the rule of international law generally or the field of international criminal law and justice specifically. In recognition of his contributions towards bringing 1/5 of the humankind closer to the international law. His outstanding contributions in the United Nations International Law Commission and its activities towards the development and the codification of international law, for his contribution for the comprehensive historical origins of the International Criminal Law Project and support to the initiatives of Center for International Law Research and Policy in India and globally. With an illustrious career and remarkable contributions, we are honored to have you here today, sir. Now I request you to address the gathering.
Honorable Vice Chancellor of the VIT AP University, Mr. Praveen Parekh, President of the Indian Society of International Law. Professor Chakra Banerjee, Dean, School of Law. Distinguished colleagues from the Indian Society of International Law. Faculty members and students of the VIT School of Law. It is a pleasure to be here before you in this program put together by our distinguished colleague on the EC of the ISIL, Dr. Chakra Banerjee, on such an important topic of the international law issues which are of current relevance. Now, one question which many of you may ask is, what is the importance, what is the relevance of international law? Because many of you will go on to practice domestic law very soon. I was saying that many of you will go on to practice maybe in the domestic courts or in the domestic field somewhere, and you will say, why do we need to study international law? Well, today, international law is something which everyone needs to study and to be familiar with. After the United Nations was established, especially during the last century, there has been a tremendous growth in international law. Large number of conventions, treaties have been adopted. And this flows directly from the mandate given to the UN, to the General Assembly by the Charter. Article 13 of the Charter mandates the General Assembly to initiate studies and programs for the development and codification of international law. It also mandates development of human rights. So these are two areas where the Charter has given a specific mandate to the UN General Assembly. And flowing from this mandate and the activities of the United Nations in pursuance of these mandates, as I mentioned, there have been a vast number of conventions and treaties, and the great body of international law has been adopted during the last century and continues to be adopted even today. As you heard, our colleague Dr. Luther Andreji has just returned from one of those such negotiations. So international law is a law which is under constant change and development. Every day, new rules are being negotiated, they're being adopted and implemented across the world. And although I mentioned the UN General Assembly, the UN General Assembly is not alone in this mandate or in this effort at developing and promoting international. Because apart from the United Nations itself, there are a number of associated organizations with the UN, say the International Civil Aviation Organization, the Atomic Energy Agency, the International Labour Organization, the International Maritime Organization, known as the specialized agencies. All these agencies also, in their own area of competence, are developing conventions and rules of cooperation and binding rules of international. So simultaneously with the UN itself and with the efforts of all these other bodies, a great deal of work is being done in developing new rules of international law. Not only are these rules being developed in areas which are traditionally known as the field of international relations. But increasingly, there are also rules affecting individuals, both in terms of rights which international law assures to individuals who in their own countries or when they are abroad, as well as obligations of conduct placed on individuals. Thus, we have the entire field of human rights, which has been developed very recently, in which states are guaranteeing to their own citizens and to others in their territory certain essential fundamental rights. And not only are they assuring those rights, but they also undertake to explain to the international community through the treaty bodies and other mechanisms that are set up as to how they are implementing those obligations they undertook under the human rights conventions and treaties. And even further, not only are they explaining, but they are also explaining what are the remedies they provide in case those rights are violated or when their citizens have any grievance with regard to those rights. There's a well-established system now among the UN human rights treaty bodies in which countries would explain in their reports the work they have done to implement those rights, what are the remedies that they provide, and if questions are raised in the committee, then the government has to answer and give clarifications. Now, side by side with the rights which we are conferring on individuals, there are also duties of conduct. And we have various conventions which require states to prohibit certain acts by individuals, such as the acts of drug trafficking, acts of money laundering, acts of the international terrorism, transnational organized crime. All these are acts which have been criminalized under international conventions, but which states must implement through their domestic laws, make them punishable as serious offenses, and at the same time also cooperate with other countries in various matters relating to those crimes, such as extradition, mutual legal assistance, and cooperation in preventing and punishing and prosecuting those offenses. So international law increasingly is not limited only to the actions or to the conduct of states intersea, but also gives rights to individuals. Now, coming to some of the topics here, climate change is one topic which is engaging the attention of the global community. Conferences, negotiations are being held at frequent intervals on the urgency with which climate change and the global warming has to be addressed, how states can cooperate, and how resources are to be generated for carrying out this campaign. Now, concern for the environment is not something new or something which has happened only over the last few years. In my now 50 years of association with international law, both as a student and as a practitioner, concerns regarding the environment have always been present. Initially, it was expressed as concerns regarding particular aspects, such as marine pollution, pollution from ships, pollution from the exploration of this of the sea, like oil drilling, etc. Then there were concerns over air pollution, industrial gases. And these were especially raised by the Scandinavian countries because the emissions occurring in Central Europe were resulting in acid rain, which were damaging the forests in Scandinavia. So in spite of the efforts which were being addressed through separate conventions, especially in the field of shipping, there are a number of conventions which deal with the aspects of pollution. We even have an oil pollution compensation fund in which those who suffer damages from oil pollution by sea can receive compensation. But the concerns have only grown more and more serious. Because even while the concerns were being expressed, the actions being taken were not sufficient to prevent further degradation of the environment. We had controls on the ozone damaging chemicals, the Montreal Protocol, in which trading in certain substances was prohibited. We had control on the certain organic compounds. And now we have come to a stage where it is not simple the components, different components of the environment which are at stake. It is the future of mankind itself. And if global warming continues at this rate, it is going to affect all aspects of our life. Even the availability of food is being affected by pollution. Increasingly, the seas are being polluted by plastic. Because every plastic bag or every plastic bottle which is discarded or thrown away in the waste or in the landfill anywhere, it finally ends up in the ocean. From the high Himalayas, what happens to all the garbage that the tourists throw around? It finds its way into the smaller streams, from there into the bigger rivers, and finally into the oceans. And the scale of the plastic which is now floating around in the oceans, it is forming what are being called as plastic patches, ocean patches. The biggest such ocean patch is in the Pacific. And the area of this patch is estimated at about 1.6 million square kilometers. That is 3 times the area of France. Or if you want to look closer to home, if you take the area of the 4 largest states in India, UP, MP, Rajasthan, and Bihar, this global patch in the oceans exceeds that area. And this is the global patch in only one ocean. All other oceans also have floating plastic. Now, plastic does not degrade chemically, we all know that. But what happens to this plastic in the oceans? It breaks up. Gradually, it breaks up into smaller and smaller pieces. And finally, you have microscopic size plastic particles floating in the ocean. In one survey which was carried out from the African coast to the Maldives, every sample of water, seawater taken, contained microscopic plastic. So no area is free of plastic because the ocean, the wind and the ocean currents, they spread this water all through the globe. Now, what is the danger posed by this plastic? The danger is that the oceans are a very important source of food for humans. And this plastic is being ingested by fish, which in turn are being the food of bigger fish. And finally, the food we are eating, the fish we are eating from the seas contain plastic. So our sources of food are being threatened. Even on land, where climate change is affecting rainfall patterns, our food security is being affected. In India, we are seeing for several years now that the monsoon patterns have changed. You don't have the rainfall in the monsoon season, which we had, say, 40 or 50 years, and which I remember from when I was in school. Very often you find during the monsoon there is hardly any rain. But at other times, we have heavy rains. And this affects agriculture. Because our agricultural processes, the sowing and harvesting times have evolved over centuries. And they have been geared to those stable weather patterns. Any change in the weather pattern affects the production of food. Because if you have rain at the wrong time, that damages your crops. If you don't have rain when it is needed, again that damages your crops. So the climate and the weather play a very important role in our food security. And this is one of the issues which needs to be addressed very urgently. Now, you may say, what were the causes of this? During the last century, there has been rapid scientific development in a number of areas. Many inventions have come up. Many processes, many things have been automated. We have a whole new industry, the civil aviation industry, the communications, transport, etc. We have more things at home, all of which are produced in big factories. And all of these use the mineral resources of the earth. And with the demand for these materials, these goods increasing rapidly, our resources are being depleted at a very alarming rate. And gradually the world may run out of some of the vital resources that we need. But at the same time, we have to remember that India is a country which has a very large population of poor people. And governments have an obligation to raise the standard of living, to raise the condition of their people. And this is not only a matter of internal governance, it is also a matter of global governance. The United Nations at the turn of the century adopted the Millennium Declaration goals, in which certain targets were to be achieved in the next 15 years, such as reducing poverty, access to water, access to health, access to education. Unfortunately, we are very far behind in achieving those goals. Not only India, but many countries around. In 2015, another set of goals were adopted, that is the Sustainable Development Goals. These recognize that the protection of the environment and human development matters have to go hand in hand. You cannot have one at the expense of the other. So development has to be sustainable. Here again, the most important aspects which have been highlighted are the elimination of poverty, nutrition for all, education, raising the standard of living, and in a number of areas, reference to international law, such as the law of the sea and the protection of the climate find mention. Now, can we blame the state of the world's environment entirely on scientific development? But we also need to look at the way in which the world's population has grown, which has created the demand for these products. And increasingly, as people's positions improve, the economic condition improves, the demand for such products is only going to increase. Now, if we take a look at the world population, in the year 1804, the world had a population of 1 billion. In 123 years, that is by 1927, the population went to 2 billion. The next 1 billion was added in 33 years. The world currently has a population of more than 8 billion. And from 7 billion to 8 billion, it took us only 12 years. So whereas earlier it was taking more than 100 years for the population to increase by 1 billion, in the last 12 years we've added 1 billion. And the world population is still expected to increase, although the rate of increase has now slowed down. But it is only around 2075, after reaching about 12 billion, then the world's population is expected to start reducing. So how are we going to manage feeding this population, educating them, giving them housing and shelter, and providing work for them to earn an income? Because that is also essential for them for survival. Well, one answer that comes from Bloomberg, an article, very recent article in Bloomberg. It says that in the next 50 years, your meals will consist of insects. You will be eating different kinds of insects for breakfast, for lunch, and dinner. And says you will be liking it. So I leave you with this thought, just to show the urgency of the problem, what is the real crisis that this world is facing, and what will happen if we don't take care of our world. And with this, I wish you a happy, successful conference, and I hope you will have more food for thought and not confined only to insects. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. It's a true testament of your knowledge for applying international law to the actual practicality, the real problems that the world is facing. Thank you very much. Now I request Dr. Anjali Yadav, Assistant Professor of Law, to give vote of thanks.
distinguished guests, esteemed speakers, respected faculty members, participants, and my dear and lovely students. A very warm welcome and good morning to all of you. On behalf of this organizing committee, it is my privilege and honor to extend a heartfelt thank you to each and one of you for gracing the inauguration session on the National Conference on the International Law in Times of Crisis, hosted by VITAP School of Law, VITAP University, in collaboration with ICL New Delhi and Ramaiah University, Bangalore. First of all, I would like to sincerely thank our distinguished guests and speakers for sharing their invaluable insights and expertise with us today. Your illuminating remarks have set the tone for what promises to be a thought-provoking and enriching conference. As we embark on this journey of exploration and discovery throughout the conference, let us remain open to new ideas, perspectives, and collaborations that have the power to shape the future of international law and contribute to a more just and equitable world. Once again, thank you to everyone for being present here today. Your presence and participations are deeply appreciated, and we look forward to fruitful deliberations and interactions in the days ahead. I would also like to make a small note to all of you that we will have a small tea break, and then we will begin our first session on climate change. Thank you so much.